Hi, welcome back to Styled by Esther's channel. My name's Esther Rix. I'm a drag queen and makeup artist based in Melbourne, Australia. I said Melbourne, I don't know. I don't know if Americans watch these or not. Probably not. Not many people watch them anyway, but I just do them for fun. It's my Drag 101 series that is in conjunction with my Wigs 101 series that is on my Patreon. Today, we are going to be continuing with the Drag 101 series, and I'm going to be going through all things foundation and contour. So we're going to do our base foundation, cream contouring. I'll talk about blush, the difference between cream contouring and powder contouring, whether you need to do it or not, and my opinions as a makeup artist on what's good, what's not, what you should do, what you shouldn't do, and any tips and tricks and ideas that pop into my brain as I'm going. Please subscribe to the Styled by Esther YouTube channel and hit the bell button to be notified when we post a video. If you'd like to follow our social medias are down below if you don't already follow us. I assume if you're here, you probably are following us on a social media, so thank you for following us there. If you simply want to support us in our business and our social media and our YouTube channel for all the free content that I put out, including our TikTok and Instagram, you can sign up as what I've now called it. I've changed the name. It used to be just called Styled by Esther, but I've called it Esther's Social Starlet, and that's only $5 a month, American dollars, which works, I don't know, like $7 a month, whatever. And you can support our YouTube channel and our free content here, the Drag 101 series, Instagram, and our TikTok. And if you want to go up to the higher tiers, you can learn about wig styling and learn all those tutorials too. Update from the last video. Obviously, you can see I've shaved half my brows off. I just don't want to cover my brows with glue or Prozade. I like it as smooth as possible, and as smooth as possible you can get it is if you just shave it off. I'm going to do a half brow. I may shave them off completely in future. You never know. What am I saying about? Oh, the contacts that I'm wearing. And these are contacts that I got from a friend. I used to wear contacts, well, not very long. For about 6 months, a couple of years ago, I wore these kind of contacts. Last time I tried to put them in, I couldn't find my saline water stuff, and I got something in there. I always have an issue with this eye anyway. As you can see, I do have a scar here. Most people don't even notice it until they look at me without any makeup on. It's a scar from when I was a baby, and I had operations when I was a toddler on a tear duct. Fun fact, I don't know, this is my party trick. Oh no, it's not working anymore. It normally used to squeak if I squish it, but I can blow air out of my eyeball. So I always have issues with this eye weeping and just being a bit fuckety. This time I put them in about half an hour ago, and my eyes have gotten used to them, and they're okay, and there's probably not any dirt and shit underneath them like there was last time. So, but let's get started. I've been rambling on and wasting time. First thing for your foundation and base, very important thing to do is skincare. Sure, so I've just had a shower, I washed my face, cleansed my face. If you have a scrub that you like to use, scrub your face, get any dead skin off, get any dead skin off your lip. My lips have been quite dry recently. I need to drink more water. And then you need a moisturizer. I just have this one here, which is a tinted moisturizer slash BB cream kind of thing. Moisturizer, and if you want to use a primer, you can. To be honest, if you do actually do some research on primer really was only invented for the makeup companies to make more money. As long as your skin is looked after, you don't really need a primer. I used to use a silicone one just because it feels nice and slimy, but sometimes a primer can actually make your foundation worse and your base worse. So as long as you're nice and moisturized and your skin is healthy, that is good. I like to do a bit of a spray with this is just the matte fixing spray, just to give a bit of extra, oh, don't open your mouth when you do that, bit of extra hydration. And I go in with my concealer first. So my concealer wheel from Kryolan. You might not need to do this for yourself, but I have quite dark under eye inner corners, so I like to do a bit here just to color correct under the eye. But most importantly, if you're a AMAB drag queen with beard showing through, stubble, if you're a young Twinkie queen, you may not need to color correct your beard area or your mustache. I know I didn't really color correct until a couple of years ago. But as you get older, I don't know, I find my beard was growing in more and it's a bit thicker and darker. So I do need to color correct because you can notice it once everything's finished. This is just a good little buffing brush, Morphe M173. I really like this fat kind of dense brush for concealer. And if you want to color correct the redness, you can, but your foundation's going to cover that anyway. Underneath here too, but not too important because that's meant to be a shadow. You're going to contour it anyway, mainly on the front of the face where you can see it. I've got my beauty blender here so you can blend that out. Right, now foundations. As I said in the best products for drag makeup video, I use the Kryolan TV paint stick. If you have a paint stick or find a paint stick of another brand that works for you, or a liquid foundation that's got enough coverage, you can go with that. This is the base idea. So a base color, a highlight color, and a contour color. And I do have a white, pure white TV paint stick as well to go in to add a little bit extra brightness and for under the brow. You can use a clown white or a different brand figure white, but if you're using, it's just nice to have all the same brand and the same formula so they blend together really well. You can either put your base foundation all over everywhere, blend that out, and then add your highlight like you would normally do for just normal everyday makeup. But to be honest, you don't really need to put your base foundation too much under here. I like to put a little bit just so it has something to stick to and blend with, but mostly you want to get your thick foundation around your jaw, underneath here, underneath your jaw, on your cheeks, and then up here as well. And we're going to blend it out and spread it around with a beauty blender. I do like to make sure to put a little bit on either side of the nose as well, just so that doesn't end up being too crazy white. And just blend that all out. You can like paint your stick on with your base, paint your stick on with your thing, paint your contour on, but I find it's harder to blend all together. If you do it separately, you can keep control of where it's going. And depending on how good your skin is, you don't really need to do it too thick. It's a thick foundation anyway, so, and you can always add more if you need to, so don't go too crazy. But make sure you blend down the neck, obviously. And with whatever residue is left, that's where I like to just do the center of the face before we go in with the highlight. And obviously, as I said in the brow video, you can either do your whole base, your contouring, and then do your eye makeup, eyebrows, and all that, or you can do your eyes first and then your base. So it's just a matter of what is preferable for you and what kind of eye look you're going to do. If you're going to do a really dark eye look with a lot of dark shadows or black shadows, I'd suggest maybe doing your eyes first. If you're going more colorful than rainbow or lighter colors or not too crazy dark, you can get away with doing your base. You can get away with doing your base either way, and just making sure that you put some powder underneath when you do your eyes, and then you won't get any fallout and it won't fuck up all the work you've done for creating your beautiful cream contoured base and all the blending that you've done. Black eyeshadow, then you have to blend it in and it goes grey and it just looks ugh. So up to you. Try both ways, see what's easiest for you. Highlight, we're gonna go under the eye into the inner corner of the eye and take it all the way up. Whether you're AMAB drag queen, AFAB drag queen, or drag king even, you want to accentuate. Drag king you accentuate in different ways. I might do a drag king face, I've never done one anyway, but I definitely know what you need to do that to make yourself look more masculine rather than feminine. So that'd be something fun we could do in the future. You're wanting to change the shapes of your face and restructure your skeleton, technically. So what we're doing, and like, you know, a classically feminine thing is high cheekbones. So having this white here, if you think anything white or light is bringing something forward, and anything dark or a shadow is pushing something back. So what we're doing here is bringing our cheeks forward, so that gives the illusion of fuller cheeks. Most women classically have fuller cheeks and sharper cheekbones. So if we're going to be putting a contour there, that's going to push that in and give the illusion that you have sharper cheekbones. We want to do the same here. This is more in regards to shrinking the forehead. We're bringing the attention to the center, and we're going to contour the outside of the forehead and bringing it down and more rounded, which most women's hairlines are more of a rounded hairline. Obviously I have quite a square hairline, so we're going to be rounding off our forehead, and that not only rounds off our forehead, but it shrinks out our overall size of our face. Same with the nose, bit down the middle. I like to do a little triangle and then a little boop on the middle, and that gives a little button nose. You can do like, say, Trixie Mattel, she just does a straight all the way down to a point. Some people do like a even, solid, parallel line all the way down the middle of the nose. That's up to you. Play around with what you want to do. If you want to go full crazy, campy, clowny drag, you can do that. If you want to go more feminine, like I like to go a bit more feminine, so this is going to be a softer makeup look. I'm planning on doing a normal video, not a non-drag one-wear video, where I do every step. I'll do the opposite of what I would normally do. So, you know, I do normally like quite a blended cheek contour. So I'll do a really sharp, solid cheek contour. I normally go with my normal sort of natural kind of eyebrow shape. Maybe I'll do a really high arch eyebrow, you know, like Divine. I thought that would be something fun to do. And then I might learn some things and things that might look good on me at the same time. A little bit on my upper lip. Same reason, it makes your top of your lip look fuller. A little bit on your chin. To be honest, that just balances everything out. Some people, you can put a little bit of white here. I'll put a little bit there. But you don't need to, because that doesn't really serve a purpose. You don't really want fuller cheeks. To be honest, don't worry about that. You can just do that. That's more for accentuating the cheekbone. And obviously we're going to be cutting your jaw off with your contour cream as well. Right, so we're gonna blend that out and then we'll do our contour cream. I would definitely suggest you do need to do a cream highlight of some kind, but if you want to get away with not doing a cream contour, you can do that if you want it nice and soft, or you can even build it up with just powder as well. I'm showing today a cream contour, and then we'll set it all and we'll do the powder contour as well. So stick around if you want to see how to do the powder contour, which will accentuate everything that we're doing now, because once we set it all with translucent powder, it sort of washes it out a bit, and then you need to go in with contour powder just to bring the life back into it. Something I used to do, because powders do tend to, over time, over the night, you know, it's powder, so it's going to fall gradually. You can, if you'd like, a heavy blush, you can go in with a cream blush, so you can either use a pink cream or a lipstick of whatever color you want to do a cream blush. You'll see the full makeup look in the next video, because the next video after this, I'm going to show you how I contour my lips and contour them to look more full. And by that point, I'll have the rest of my face done. If you're watching this after it's already there, go watch the how to contour your lips drag 101. Contouring. For the contour, you can use your stick. Normally they're flat. I use a brush, so it's a bit sunken in. You can use your stick and draw it on with a stick. I just like to use a brush just because I always have, and you can be more precise with it. Contouring in general, the aim is to accentuate your natural features if you've got them. If you don't have them, you can draw on and create the cheekbone that you want. But the general rule is you want to go from the top of the ear to the corner of the mouth. So I like to just do a little bit there, and then you don't want to go down. You want the cheekbones to be high and more feminine. Go a little bit up more, and then just sort of make a triangle and join that to the end, like that. And you can probably see already, I don't know, on the camera, you can see that that's sort of cut off a bit of my face, making my face look smaller already. Try and stop at roughly the same place, but you're going to be blending it all out anyway. And then we're going to be adding powder contour, so any mistakes you make, you can fix it up later. A little bit around the corners of the forehead. You don't need to go too crazy thick up here. I'd suggest go a bit more thinner on the forehead. Don't go too thick with the foundation there, because then it'll transfer to the lace of your wig. You make your wig dirtier. The less you do there, the better really, and you can go in with powder to deepen it later if you need to. Jaw, same thing, but the bottom of the ears. I personally like to go to the bottom of the ear, probably the rule of thumb. Obviously everybody's lobes are normally a bit different. Not everyone has the same kind of lobe, so depending where your lobe is and where your jaw is, if you have it, like I don't really have a really square masculine jaw. It's quite rounded already, but I like to cut it off up here and then just go under the chin. And then you don't need really much extra. With the residue that's on your brush, just pull that down and then we'll blend that out later. Depending on how many chins you have, you may need to go a bit further. You know, like Ginger Minge. That's her name, right? Ginger Minge. Yeah. It's Ginger Minge, right? Is that her name? Ginger Minge. I just realized how, like, I don't like the word minge. A la Ginger Minge, she has quite a large neck area. And she does just color it all pretty much dark gray black to just delete her chin. So if you need to do that, you can do that. Nose contour, I like to do that here. Whatever, just don't get any extra. Actually take some product off your brush, because especially here, you don't want to go too crazy. Make sure that the center of this has the highlight nice and even. What really works, and it might work for everyone, if you squeeze the beauty blender that you used for your base, you can just go in here like this, and you can sort of almost use that to get a guide for where you want your highlight to be. And that sort of gives it a little bit of shadow already, and you just want to go in really light. And just try and make it as even as possible. So just draw a line to begin with, either side. Double check that that is pretty much symmetrical. Obviously, you know, some people have a bit of a wonky nose. If you look, like my nose isn't actually done right down the center of my face. Like it's a bit skewy. But you just have to sort of adjust for that. And you gotta remember, no one has a symmetrical face. No one is perfect. So a little bit of asymmetry can sometimes actually look better, because you look more real and natural. So then I'm just going in, and with whatever residue that's still left on the brush, even take more off, you can just pull that line that you made down. And now, instead of using a beauty blender to blend this, I like to use a brush. This is a brand new one, so I'm just gonna give it a bit of moisture. If it's a dry brush, once you start going in, sometimes the brush just wants to soak up your foundation once there and sort of takes it away. Normally a more angled one would be good. I can deal with it. I know what I'm doing. Make it easy for yourself. Find a dense kind of brush like this, but that's a flat, dense brush. When you do your contouring, when you're blending out your contouring, start with your cheek contour first. And you just want to do a patting motion. Don't swipe too much. And that's just going to blend it in with the two. And we're going to go back in with the beauty blenders just to finesse it afterwards. Before you change over to your other side, just wipe the brush off a bit. Then you ensure that you're not going to add extra product that you've picked up from here to here, and then it's going to have too much product here, if that makes sense. And obviously we're wanting to, so we got that line from the ear to the corner of the mouth. We want to be blending up, not down. So as much as you can, blend up. If you do end up blending it, like I like to soften this a bit. If you do end up going down too far, you can always fix it up afterwards, which I'll show you what I'll do. If you want to, you can go all the way up here. I do like to connect the contour with the forehead. Another rule of thumb, a lot of people say in general in makeup artist, is the number 3. So if you want it, you can think about it that way. So from the center of the face, we're going like that. So it's a number 3. I don't know, is that a backwards 3? That could be a number 3. I don't know. Take the excess off, and you can go and blend the rest. The forehead, you're blending down towards the highlight to shrink that forehead. And here, you just need to soften it a little bit. If you don't want it, you don't need to do it soft. You can keep that as a solid harsh line if you want to. Completely up to you. So we can go a little bit to create that 3, to finish that 3 off. You can go up there a little bit, just up to under the ear. You don't need to go all the way up. And then let's just blend this all in with itself. Now, this is where you can go back in. I like to go back in with my beauty blender that I use for my highlight. That'll accentuate that highlight again a little bit more on both sides and on the forehead. And this will blend it all together and make it look nice and even. And you can go back and forth between the brush. If you really want to, you can use another beauty blender to do your contour. So you can have 3 beauty blenders for the base, contour, and highlight. So this is where, if you want to make that really sharp, you can just go in with your beauty blender and swipe that down. I like to then also blend this all together so you can't tell where the contour ends. It just fades in to the center of the face. Your nose contour, I like to get a little small brush and do the same thing as pretty much the same as we did with your cheek contour, and patting that down and blending it out and keeping that line in the middle. I like to use a bit of white just to accentuate the high points that I'm wanting to accentuate even more. So I like to go a little bit right on the apples of the cheeks, right in the center, tip of the nose, up there, a little bit on the chin. And we can even use your finger to get a little bit. Ding, 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 ding. Right in the middle of the nose. I'm going to start using the fresh, the side that hasn't really been used of the Beauty Blender, just so I don't muddy it. You may need to go in with a little brush to get in the crevices of your nose for your foundation. So you can just pat this. If you need to, you can go back in and fix that up. But we're going to go over with powder again as well. So I like to do like a little diamond on the tip of my nose. I'm bringing this in here, and like I said, contours push things back and the highlights bring things forward. So this little white on the tip is bringing that out more, and having this coming into a point and then out again, that's pushing that in to give the illusion that I've got a little turned up button nose, which is classically quite pretty and cute. But obviously anything can be beautiful, so go for your life and be beautiful no matter what you are. Let's go in with a bit of cream blush. So I'll show you how I do that. I'll use a bit of the peachy color. I like a bit of a peach blush. If you use a really strong, bright, dark color, you may put too much on and it might get out of hand. So with blush, you smile. Whether, this is where, in my opinion, you should put blush in where your natural features are. So on the blush, where you're meant to put blush is on the apples of your cheeks. So right here, which should line up really with where you've got just above the end of your contour. And then you can go a little bit up here in the middle, which is where highlight, contour, blush is meant to be. Highlight, blush, contour. Or a little baby beauty blender. So you can even smile just to make sure that you're getting your rosy cheeks. Same again, go back and forth with your other beauty blenders just to make sure everything is where you want it to be. At this stage as well, for your eye look, I like to put white under my brows. Most people want to put white under the brows. So I'm going to go in and carve out, before I set my whole face with my translucent powder, and carve out where my new brow is going to be with a white. So I'm going to use the white from my iMagic palette. I need to clean my brushes. I've been buying a whole heap of new brushes because they've been on sale from Morphe. So instead of cleaning my old brushes, I've got 2 of these and they're quite full. I've just been getting new brushes, and then now they're just all mixed together. So I do need to do a brush cleaning day. These are personal brushes, not for makeup artist use. And even if I was going to use them for makeup artists, I would clean them obviously. So don't, no need to say anything about it. No. Cleaning your brushes is probably a good idea, because you never know. Well, to be honest, if you're using them for yourself and you're using the same brush for the same product in the same place, you can get away with not cleaning your brushes. But after a certain amount of time, your makeup turns out better if you have nice, fresh, clean brushes. So clean your brushes. Maybe I'll do a video on how to clean brushes and the correct way and what's the wrong ways. But there's many different ideas for that. As I said, I've only shaved off half my brow this time. So I'm just going to start from where and this doesn't have to be exact at this point. If anything, like I like to go just a little bit more than you're anticipating your brow to actually be. You can go on the lid as well. And you can put a bit on the inner corner. We'll have to accentuate that later anyway when we do the eyes. Might as well put a little bit there now. I'm just gonna blend that out too. Some drag queens go in full. If you're gonna do your eyes first, you can go in full, and you're gonna cover your brows, paint your brow in with your contour color, full white all over the eye, and then you can go in with any bright colors. The best base for eyeshadows, and especially for drag queens, and you're gonna do bright colors and you're gonna add glitters, is white. Just go with a really good white, a cloud white, or this Eye Magic is really great. Any white cream as a base. Unless you're going to be going a darker look, white under the brow, yes, but white on the lids. If you're gonna go blacks and darker smoky colors, it can end up turning gray and muddy if you have too much white as a base. But in general, use a white base for your eyeshadow. But we'll get to that when we do the Drag 101 on a drag eye. But this, to be honest, is an optional step in the cream and base foundation part of it. You can always settle that and then do that white afterwards. Now you want to get your translucent white powder and a big powder puff, and we're going to go in and just put a shitload on. Pack it in, pat it all over, final checks. So the point of having a cream contour, just to explain a bit further, if you have your cream contour there and you're setting it with your powder, that locks in your contour and your new, dimensions of your face and the structure of your face. If it's just powder, like I said, powder tends to dissipate, and you end up looking like a moon face by the end of the night. So you're doing your cream contour, setting it with powder, and then accentuating it with your powder contours. That just locks it all in, and it's not going to go anywhere. Pack it on. The whole baking situation, to be honest, in my opinion, as a makeup artist, you do not need to put a heap of powder on and leave it for 10 minutes. But for an experiment, I might go get a drink, take a little break, leave this on for 10 minutes, and I'll let you know if it actually makes a difference, because it's more really to do with longevity. Does depend on your skin type and how you go and how oily or sweaty you are. Baking it in may help it last a bit longer throughout a night out, but my skin, I'm okay, but I'm gonna leave it on for a little bit. There's people say that baking it makes it look smoother and less wrinkly, even though you're putting more powder on, which powder catches in wrinkles and fine lines and makes them worse and accentuates them more. But let's leave it on for 10 minutes and we'll come back. And then at the end of the video, we'll see, I'll let you know if I think that it looks better than what I would normally do. See, the worry about this, it can grab. If you've got too much powder in one spot, it can grab, but you'll be able to blend it out. Big fluffy brush to get all this powder off. Let's see. That's gonna happen no matter what. So just very dry. See, too much powder. Baking, not really necessary. It may help your makeup last a bit longer, but don't stress. You don't need to waste time just sitting around with a heap of powder on your face. But at this stage, especially because I've put a lot of powder on, just to give it a little bit more hydration, put a bit of spray on again. And then let that dry down. Where's those fans? So now we're going to go in and accentuate everything with powder contour. Any powder contour will really work. Make sure they're on the cooler side. So this NYX palette, this is the HCPP01. I'm assuming they would have different shade ranges. This is quite a good one for my skin tone at least. This one I don't use as much because it's obviously, as you can tell, quite warm. And again, we're creating a shadow, so you want it to look... My phone was full, so it cut off. I'm so sorry. So where was I up to? Just ignore that it's completed. This one's quite warm, so don't use that. Make sure your contour colors are quite on the cooler side. As you can see, I've already done my powder contour blush. I'll go back and explain what I did. It's pretty much, we're just going over and accentuating what we already did underneath with the cream contour. So I like to use a lighter, sort of a medium toned shade first. And you want to start from the top of the ear here, concentrate the color here and then blend that down. And same as with the cream, you want to blend it up rather than down. Same along the forehead. You don't want to go too crazy dark because a lot of lace front wigs nowadays have quite a light lace, or if it's either translucent or light, and sometimes the lace is too light. Accentuate all the cream contour, and then I like to go in with a slightly darker one and concentrate it just more right in the center and at the top there. And that really deepens it, as you can see. The contour brush that I like to use is a Morphe E4 brush, but make sure the contour brush is a fluffy angled brush. Doesn't really matter what you use. For quite a long time I was using, this is just a cheapy one that came with a set from an eBay set of brushes. As long as it's fluffy and angled, it'll do the job, and the softer the better. For the nose contour, any fluffy brush really, but it's good to have a flat fluffy brush. This is like a mini version, I guess, of the other contour brush. This is the Morphe E6 II. I found it to be quite good. Get the middle shade, one of the medium tone shades, and pretty much same as what we did before, that center line. And then get as much off, take the product off, just gonna blend now, and then you wanna blend that down either side of the nose, going over exactly where you put it before. And to really deepen up and accentuate the button nose, then you can go in with a darker one and just put, I like to put just a little bit underneath. And that really makes the nose look cute and upturned and a little cute little button nose. And then blush. The blush I like to use, this is my go-to, this is called California blush. Nice peach, really bright peach. If you do want it really bright, a lot of drag queens do use the UV pink eyeshadow from Kryolan. That's what Vanity of Wigs by Vanity uses. Blush, same, apples to the cheeks, up there, and just blending it up. If you do need to sharpen any lines, if you've gone too far with your powder blush, you can go in with your same, like we did with the cream, just whatever's left residue on your beauty blender, and sharpen that up a bit. And if you go too far, like if I put too much blush on and if it was too dark, or if I used the UV or a darker blush and it was like wrong, or sometimes if you use an eyeshadow as a blush, eyeshadows are more pigmented than a blush. Blushes are normally a bit more tightly packed and not as pigmented, just so you don't get too much. You can just go over really lightly with your beauty blender to sort of dull it down a bit. There we have it. That's how to contour, base and contour. That's how to do a drag, base and contour. You can take these techniques and just adjust them to your face. Cream contours and your powder contours over the top. From the top of the ear to the corner of the mouth for your cheek. Around your forehead to shrink down your face. If you've got a really defined or strong jaw, you can cut that jaw off, cut it in half, and make your face more feminine. So we're creating highlight, we're creating shadows to change the structure of your face and make it more feminine. Or if you're a drag queen, drag king, you can do it the opposite way and do that. And I think it would be fun to do a drag king face. I've never done that before, so I might do that as just a fun video and do a drag king look. And I can show the opposite way of contouring to make yourself look more masculine rather than looking more feminine. Because I guess my face is sort of like in between, you could say. Yeah, I don't know. If you'd like to subscribe to our channel, please subscribe and hit the bell button. If you want to join us on Patreon, you can join us on Patreon to learn about wig styling on our top 2 tiers, but you can join us as one of Esther's social starlets and support the free content that way I produce and make for the YouTube channel, like Drag 101 or any other videos, plus my TikTok. Maybe I'll post something on TikTok about this, I guess. You can go and become one of Esther's social starlets and help me be able to continue making more free content for everyone. Yeah, that's it. If you want to join us there, that would be great. But other than that, thank you for watching the Drag 101 base and contour video, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye! It wasn't as natural the second time round. And I was just trying to remember, but oh, it was so good the first time. I'm sorry. I'm Esther. What are you yawning for? Oh, it's a big sneeze.